Now, are y'all ready to start this off? Yeah. Supreme Bars, are y'all ready?
I say Supreme and y'all say Bars. Supreme Bars. Supreme Bars.
Supreme Bars!
Bitch, I wanna party like Chris Paul.
Supreme Bars, what up? It's your boy Roberto, aka The Analogy. I'm here right now with Super King Armor, Dope MC. We're about to talk about his album, Gone is the Illusion. Let's get into it, alright? King, how'd you go with the name Super King Armor?
Well, actually, like my family, like their last names, it comes from them. So my grandmother's last name was King,
Okay.
and my grandfather's last name is Armor.
So it's got nothing to do with Tekken, right?
Zero. People don't even ask. They're like, yo, you got it from that shit Tekken. The super part actually came from a battle I was in. And the dude that was promoting the battle at NYU put it on the flyer. And he was like, yo, I think your name sounds more threatening if it's Super King Armor. So I just let it rock.
I have to ask, I know it's a very basic question, but hip-hop. When did you fall in love with hip-hop? What was your first experience?
I was fortunate enough to be raised by my grandparents, and they had certain luxuries like cable TV at the time.
Nice.
So I was exposed to Yo MTV raps at an early age.
Fab Five Freddy?
Fab Five Freddy, man.
No, believe it or not, I still got old cards from your MTV raps, man. Like I got like Fab Five Freddy, I got Run DMC, LL Cool J.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the state of hip hop, when you were raised and when you found your love for hip hop, what is the biggest difference? Like when you fell in love with hip hop and the state of hip hop now, and what exactly do you feel your niche is in hip hop? Do you even want to change the game?
When I first fell in love with it was predominantly about lyricism. I fell in love with just the poetry of it, and that was what got me really into it. I was a big Tribe Called Quest fan. I was a big EPMD fan, and then that progressed to later on in the 90s to DMX.
Anyone now that you listen to or that you're a fan of?
I'm a big fan of Tech Nine.
Tech Nine's been around for a very, very long time.
He's just now getting acknowledged in the mainstream.
But now, let's just say any new up and coming artists in the last couple of years, anybody that you could say that you listen to for a while.
At this point, I guess it's kind of cliche, but Kendrick and Cole. And they're what
Nothing cliche about it, man. That's some dope MCs.
Crazy enough, man, I remember my very first experience seeing Kendrick perform live. Was at Brooklyn Bodega. I'm gonna be honest, man, I wasn't moved, man, at the time. But that brother, keeping it just funky, man. But at the time, and going forward now and seeing him now, he just you could just watch him on the television and feel his energy coming through the screen. Like he embodies that passion that I remember about hip hop. So that's why I'm a big fan of him.
We're here over at Funkadelic Studios. I am Roberto De Jesus, Supreme Bars. We're here with Super King Armor.
King.
Gone is the Illusion, new album by Super King Armor. Let's get into it. All right, Gone is the Illusion. The title, the name, how, why, what, how'd you come up with the name? How'd you come up with the title?
It's always been kind of hard for me to write from any other point than feeling some sort of negative emotion and then having to get it out. And that's how Gone is the Illusion came about. I remember I threw a show at Sullivan Hall in 2012. And I was just at my wit's end trying to figure out how the fuck do I get everyone in the scene at the time to come to my shit. And it was just hard as hell, man. And I just remember seeing other cats just be able to snap their fingers and shit would happen for them. So I came up with the idea. A lot of people had always thrown to me, yo, you should perform with a live band. And I had always been good at doing that because I had a lot of experience doing it at Freestyle Mondays.
Shout out to Freestyle Monday, Ill Spoken.
Word up, word up. So I even got the dudes from the band in Freestyle Mondays, and I said, let's do this. And it didn't pack out, even with I had everything right that night. And it just kind of pushed me overboard where I was just like, yo, fuck this shit, man. And then it was Gone is the Illusion just hit me right in my head. And it wasn't even meant to be an album title.
Is that why you would self-describe your beats as dark and moody? Are you even producing the beats?
No,
or? Okay.
shouts to Steel Tip Dove, who did from Brooklyn, New York, man. That dude held me down and took that project just as seriously as I did. I'm also heavily influenced by rock music. So I'm a huge fan of 9 Inch Nails, Joy Division, Tool. It's kind of something I've always felt like relatable to.
I gotta talk about the album artwork. Very front cover, love it. The back cover reminded me of Liquid Swords. Like, was that sort of what you were going for? Is that like an inspiration for the back cover?
I did all the artwork myself.
Nice.
I started doing illustration since I was like a little kid. The only thing I didn't do was the coloring, and then that shouts to Broke MC, who did the coloring for me, man. He's real patient.
Broke MC?
Bro, yeah, man.
Broke MC, I gotta get at you, come back to Supreme Bars, alright? I did notice, speaking of the beats, it sort of gave me that Black Moon vibe. Like, it felt like some Evil D type, beat miners joints, man.
Still to Dub.
Blessings to Steel. Steel, we're gonna find you. We're gonna put you on the camera, whether you like it or not.
He does not like cameras. The camera. Oh, man.
Alright, so let's just get into it. First song, Gone is the Illusion. You pretty much explained the reason behind the name title, but as far as the song itself,
it's definitely supposed to define the
entire album. That's why you made it the very first song, the title. Okay, let's just move along. 2, you're not an expert, you're an asshole. That's the name of the second song here. The song was dope. The chorus, is it you personifying someone else who thinks is an asshole? Is it you yourself saying that, there's some sort of revelation saying that, people who act like experts are actually assholes?
It's just a little bit of both. I've run into so many people who think they're experts. Everyone's got this expert advice and shit, and it's like, well, what are you doing? And then it's just like, and people are so like cavalier about the shit. It's a bunch of fucking assholes, man, and not experts, man. You know what I mean? So
parents, cover your kids' ears, all right?
That's pretty much the gist of the meaning of that song.
I like the beat. The drum pattern actually reminded me of Jay-Z's "I Know What Girls Like."
Oh, wow.
So I'm a big fan of. Obviously, I'm a big fan of beats, but still, it made me get more well delved into the song.
One last thing about that song, one of the reasons why I called the album "Gone Is the Illusion" is because I felt that people thought I was a one-track pony. That I could only make angry-sounding shit, or that I would just be on stage screaming my lungs out, and that was very specific goal that I had to accomplish with that album. That's why there's so many songs going in very different directions. There's a sound of sarcasm in that song that I wanted to really focus on, instead of just being angry at it.
Lionheart. Was that from the Van Damme movie, or?
That's...
We're movie buffs. It happens, I gotta ask.
When I was writing that song, I spent time living on the streets. I was homeless, and so I felt like because I had survived that, and that I didn't crack and then break, that, you know what I'm saying, you can't be weak of heart. You gotta have a lion's heart, you know what I mean? So that's the premise of that.
Best lines I like in that song. My heart is a vibrant torch, lit flame that guides me through the darkness. Well, so I'm going like bang. Yeah. I gotta listen to that song. It's real dope. He's got a lot of great lines in there. That's the one that stuck out for me. Also, since I'm a fan of Bane, and why not? Number 4, Henny on Ice. The title's called Henny on Ice, but there's no mention of any alcohol in the song. So please explain. And the whisper. There was a reason why you were whispering that song. So
the name Henny on Ice is like it's a metaphor for sex itself. In the hood, cats is talking about getting it on with some chick or whatever. There's always some sort of sex is like synonymous with like Hennessy. As crazy as it sounds, man, that's just a hood type of thing, and I know a lot of females that love Hennessy.
Whatever happened to Alizé, man? Like, no one drinks Alizé no more? No Thug Passion? No Hypnotic?
No, man. Hennessy just has always been there. It's just like, that's like base. You're never going to get rid of that. That and E&J. You know what I mean?
Makes sense. But I like Henny on Ice. I like the fact that it does have a good representation of, one of our basic needs.
The thing for me with that song was that I really wanted to be genuine. I didn't want to sound like any old rap song about sex. So there's like one of the main messages I really want to get out is like the type of women that I like, or the women that are attracted to me. Someone who is very intellectual or very like alpha. I've dated a lot of alpha females.
Like, pour me some Henny on Ice. That kind of girl? Yeah, that kind of girl.
Super successful, like overachiever at life. And just like very, very on point with this shit.
You never date a woman who doesn't drink?
Most women I've dated don't drink.
Oh wow. You want some Henny on nice? Or no? You want Netflix and chill? Yeah. Alright, number 5, I work out. This beat was one of the very few beats that weren't so dark.
You know, physical fitness has always just been a part of my life.
Thanks.
But I have an inner fat boy. Like, you give me some fried Oreos, some apple pie, and I'm in heaven, dude. I'm bliss. Once I eat all that shit, I'm focused on burning it off like a motherfucker. So I can't really, you know what I mean? So that's why I wrote it in that in the way that I did, and why the beat sounded the way that I did. I wanted it to be something catchy and you know, very lighthearted.
Number 6, freak of nature. I'm a freak of nature. You're a freak of nature.
I grew up very violently. I did a lot of fighting growing up as a kid. You know, I wasn't always heavy set. I was real skinny and short.
So you were skinny at one point. You were a fat boy at one point. And a power lifter.
I just have a very combat-like mindset because that's most of my youth.
Super King Armor.
Yeah. I guess, bro. I mean, I grew up in a time where there was a lot of machismo and there was a lot of self-righteousness. Now, it's like there's a lot more femininity included in a lot of young men's lives now. And I'm a live and let live kind of person.
Right.
And because I'm into very machismo, macho man kind of things, but then I'm also a thinker. You know, I'm not. It's some people. I know a lot of people who are only just one way. So, and for me to be able to bridge both of those things, I consider myself kind of an oddball or weirdo because of that.
Right.
You know?
The right brain, left brain, pretty much coming together.
Yeah.
Wow, that's dope. Number 7, crazy pussy. The beat does kind of sound like a scary movie, so y'all gotta listen to the beat. You're singing in the hook. Is that you singing or is that someone else?
That's me singing.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's gotta be you singing because I noticed in the album you don't have too many features. It's a storyline.
Yeah.
It's like folk rap.
The first project I ever put out was called The Werewolf Lullabies. That entire thing was folk rap.
Okay.
I'm big on storytelling. Majority of them are my stories, and then I took certain pieces from stories I picked up from people over time. It's very controversial kind of subject, but I have found that more purist hip-hop crowds don't like that song, unless people that listen to this stuff now are just like, oh, I've seen some females who enjoy some of my work kind of leave the room because they don't want to hear that kind of stuff. Then I've had people, because I rock shows like rock groups, and that crowd eats that shit up. They love that shit. They get the humor of it.
Right.
So they vibe out, you know?
Okay. We'll talk about humor. What about the next song, Seppuku? For those that don't know, Seppuku is like harikari. It's like the Japanese form of suicide. Harikari meaning cut belly. Seppuku, you know,
Being the ritualistic suicide.
Yeah. Please expound.
You know, the strange thing about it, that song just came about organically. You know, I have a super dope MC from Brooklyn, Cavalier.
Yeah, you have no cameos except for Cavalier Korean.
Yeah.
Was there a reason why you don't have any other people featuring? Or?
Yeah, because I needed to handle business on my own. I
Okay.
needed people to understand I wasn't playing any games.
Now we know.
And he just has this sort of like relaxed vibe and delivering like these crazy bars.
Shout out to Cavalier for helping him out with that track.
Another big props to him, he wrote that verse, he freestyled that verse in the studio. He did that in one take.
I like the beat, it's very hypnotic. It changes up in the beginning a bit, but the name.
We just threw ideas back and forth at each other, and then it just happened. Other than me wanting to work with him, it was never really premeditated.
How did you even meet Cavalier in the first place?
I've known Cavalier for years, being in the scene and going to different venues. What is it? The place that's Southpaw, that's closed.
Southpaw.
Yeah, I remember meeting a lot of relationships out to this day from meeting folks at Southpaw.
Okay, and I can tell that you're a fan of the Japanese culture as well.
I'm more of a fan of Ninja than I am of Samurai for very specific reasons. Samurai and Ninja represent two dynamics of what's going on in society today. Samurai, for all intended purposes, represented government and represented police.
And ninjas are personal assassins.
The ninja were actually the poor people that the samurai were abusing and picking on throughout the feudal period of Japan. And because samurai had all that clout, no one was going to say shit. So the poor people had to devise a way, much like every other story of poor people learning how to defend themselves against their oppressor, had to come up with a way to combat the samurai. And they created ninjutsu films.
And so, you get a history lesson at the same time.
I feel they are a very representation of black people, black, brown people, all over, poor people, period, that have to...
Ninja over samurai.
Ninja over samurai all day.
There was a sample in there. Where did the sample come from?
That's actually from a guy. He actually killed himself, ritualistic suicide. He was actually, like a lot of guys are today, he believed in that glory period of Japan. Much in the way a lot of rappers are, they believe in the glory days of the 90s, and so nothing else can get past them on that.
Right.
He was one of those guys where it's like, I'm going to prove to the world. And he actually sieged like this government building with like a group. And when he did it, he decided instead of being caught by the police, he was going to commit harikari.
Number 9, Scar Man. Scar Man. It's an acronym.
The whole song is about the different acronyms I've developed for that name.
Okay.
The original one is slept on continuously, always rising morning and night.
Wow.
So it was a song actually on my Werewolf Lullabies, which is crazy type shit.
Yeah, I know you mentioned monsters in there, and then you mentioned like superheroes as well. Would you rather be a monster or a superhero?
Monster.
Okay.
Because I've always been the underdog. I've never been the guy. I've had to fight, scratch, and claw for everything that I've ever had. My intelligence has been undermined in a lot of ways.
Right.
And that's another reason why I feel like I have to just like tear through everything. I saw my vision that so you can understand it.
Wow. Number 10, Dumb Smart Negro.
Dumb smart nigga, man. That's a phrase I heard a lot growing up in my neighborhood.
You got Karina in the song too.
She's awesome. I love her work, man. She just, incredible artist.
One of my favorite songs on the album, that's for sure. The voice is really clear. It's a good collaboration with the singer. But expound on the name of the song, like what it's about.
I've always been told I've been too smart to be in some of the places that I've been in life. That's pretty much the gist. I've heard that a lot. It's like, you're too smart to be working here. So because that you're here, you're dumb too. So dumb smart nigga.
Number 11, Nights in Shining Darkness. What was your idea behind that flow and the song title as well?
I actually was influenced by Outkast for that song, Aquemini. And there's a song they have with George Clinton about Mother Earth.
Right.
That's an album cut. You would never push that as like a single to the masses.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's so different. The thing behind it is that I've always been able to feel people's emotions very deep. What I talk about in the second verse, about this girl who came into a job and she found out she had cancer. That really happened. And I remember before she had came in, my day was totally fine. And I could just feel it all over me, bro. It just took me to that place I hadn't been to in a long time. And so that's there
are a lot of sides to you, man. A lot of stories involved.
Yeah, man.
Track number 12, Radius. Love the song for what it was. Why the shushing and like shh?
That song represents the kind of New York vibe. People like always inside of your radius. You know, you can't escape.
6 degrees.
6 degrees, bro. For real.
Groundhog's Day, number 13. A lot of death undertones here. Spirit looking for a crystal ball. I mean, like...
Growing up, I lived with my family. I had spent a lot of time with my family where it felt like the days repeated themselves.
Right.
Very cyclical.
Robotic,
bro. And it would just kill my spirit, man. I have more control of that energy now.
Good.
The vibe when I wrote it, how I wanted to sound in the flow was, I wanted it to sound like I was very weary. I was very like sleepy. I actually live across the street from the cemetery. So growing up, like looking out the window, I could see death. Yeah, it was right there.
Clean slate, number 14, clean slate. I got better luck having my prostate exam by a blind cardiologist with hooks on his hands.
I've always had a thing for very fucked up, warped humor. I think I really like to do that stuff in my music because how I am in my personal life. When I'm around people who are too happy, or when I'm around people who have just like this perfect way of looking at the world, in a way it kind of sickens me because I'm just like, the world just doesn't work like that all the time. It is a horrible place.
I mean, you're not trying to break down the optimism. You're just trying to like be more realistic. You're a realist. Only through revolution can we leave the past behind. That's how you get a clean slate. That's how I'll get mine. 15. What's making it? What's considered making it? Not even in music, but in your own life personally. What's making it? That's what that song is all about as well.
That's the first song I wrote for the album.
Really?
Yeah, I wrote that in one night.
What do you believe making it is?
As long as I can live from my art and be able to live next door to the bus driver, to the sanitation worker, and say, yo, guys are going to work now, so am I. Now, I rap though. That's what I do.
Do you believe that there is a end point to success? Like you're here and I say, that's it, I've made it. Would you still be struggling after you made it, or is making it not struggling anymore?
Well, I think you're always supposed to keep going. The real question is to when do you know when to stop? Because historically, guys who have kept trying to go way past what they accomplished ended up getting burnt.
The Icarus theory.
Exactly. And then I guess a part of me also believes in that. You know, why stop? Keep chasing after the sun. There's going to be one point where you're not here anymore.
Exactly.
So, you know what I mean? Whether you fail or whether you win.
Your friends have they moved out to the suburbs and have the big house, the white picket fence, and kids and families. Do you feel like that's making it as well?
At one point I used to think that. I don't think that anymore because just me personally, I'm a guy that I can't see myself settling down for too long. Not just because I feel like I'm some gigolo or something like that. In all honesty, I always gotta stay moving. And I'm a guy who I need my space to create. I've been in relationships that have lasted longer than 2 weeks.
Right.
Like years I've been in relationships, you know what I mean? And I just found like, I was becoming fat and comfortable. And it was I was at peace. Just the real person in me. I wasn't settled.
It's hard to find a woman like that.
Yeah.
So that would be making it, being able to find someone who could travel with you and
I guess
maybe help you create.
I haven't quite seen it yet. All I know is that there's just a certain point that I just have to get to right now. If it's with somebody, it's with somebody. If it's by myself, then I say, okay, I saw that coming.
Lesson learned, y'all. Lesson learned. Super King, is there anything you gotta say to any of the cameras?
I've got physical copies still on sale of Jonas the Illusion. You can reach me on Bandcamp, Amazon, Google Play, iTunes, all digital platforms. The album is available. I decided to leave the regular 9-to-5 life behind and just focus on being a working musician. It's a lot of hard work. It's definitely not easy. Any support would be appreciated. And I think you guys will really enjoy the album.
Support, y'all. No doubt. Support, y'all. No doubt.
Supreme Bars.
Supreme Bars.
Supreme Bars.
All right, Super King. It's been a pleasure. Good time.
Always.
All right?
Always.
And thanks for listening.
So what they can't grasp, your need for it. They don't wake up in the morning and eat with it. Your obsession and why you feel complete with it. So why the fuck should I care how they see or feel for it? Is making other people happy, or being rich out your ass and lonely? What's making it? Who the fuck knows? All I know, there's a point where I determine it. My station in life, am I ashamed of it? Everyone